Filmed between Uganda and South Africa, Queen of Katwe's Jozi premiere was boosted by approval from US critics and growing commercial success.
What's brought you out tonight?
I'm very excited to meet Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's an inspiration to a lot of African sisters and brothers, but I'm also here for a movie night to understand the real true story behind the lady and the chess player and the coach. I just want to experience the beautiful African story.
I was fortunate enough to be in the film in a little way, so I was able to be on set working with these guys. It was just amazing.
What was the main message that you guys were trying to get across?
That your circumstances don't have to define who you become. So you have this young girl who learns to play chess, a nice cerebral sport, and she transcends. And I think that's the narrative that we need to encourage, the possibility of what our continent can offer. And I think in this story, it's a story of triumph. And we see these kind of stories coming out of other countries. It's just really great for it to be coming out of Africa.
We speak about Africa and immediately people imagine extreme poverty. It still exists, but there's also a lot of good happening in Africa. You can see our artists are flourishing overseas. So it would be nice to also bask in that and just see where we are now as opposed to where we used to be.
It's the story of 9-year-old Phiona Mutesi and her mother Harriet, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and how the family's daily struggle turns the day Phiona discovers chess.
Young girl, come inside.
Why are you letting her win?
I'm not letting her.
Phiona has the talent of a prodigy.
Lupita, thank you so much for joining us on Top Billing. It's a real pleasure to be talking to you.
Thank you.
As an Oscar-winning actress, what were the challenges of playing a role such as Harriet, Fiona's mother, such a pivotal role in the film?
I was attracted to this role because Mira Nair, the director, was asking me to play a mother of 4. And Harriet is a young mom. She has her first child when she's 15, and so at the time that we meet her and she's so burdened by life, she's just barely 30. And I was intrigued by her journey because she's a woman who, unlike me, is very suspicious of dreams and has been very disappointed in her life. And she has to go on this journey to learn that love is really acting out of radical hope, not out of fear, and letting her daughter go and achieve things that she didn't know were possible.
Inspired by an ESPN magazine article and the Queen of Katwe book by Tim Crothers, the true life story of Phiona is a tearjerker.
The script had an immediate impact on you. It's said that a few pages into it, you had already started feeling quite overcome by your emotions and you broke down. What were you feeling at that point?
It was just such an uplifting story, the fact that it was based on truth and was coming out of East Africa, which is my home, and that it's a positive view of an African story. And here was Disney offering me this role without me begging to play it, you know? And so that was just unbelievable. And then Mira Nair was directing it, a woman whose work I deeply admire and I trust her implicitly. So all these reasons are the reasons why I cried.
An alumnus of Mira Nair's film lab and as an intern at her production company in New York, Lupita finally got to work with her mentor on camera.
Lupita and David, firstly, why did you decide to cast them? And especially that young woman who used to be your intern making you lots of cups of tea and now is one of your lead actresses in your film Queen of Katwe.
Well, it's wonderful to be directing Lupita because Lupita is like directing a daughter, you know. I have seen her grow up and it's beautiful to see her meteoric rise as a bona fide Hollywood movie star because that also allows movies like Queen of Katwe to exist. So in the beginning, knowing Lupita and knowing Harriet and seeing that core of mother courage in Harriet, I called it the Lupita draft. We wrote the draft of the screenplay with her in mind.
As an independent filmmaker, you've been known as that with Mirabai Films, and now you collaborated with Disney. What was that shift like?
Well, you know, the irony is that I live in Uganda now 27 years and surrounding myself with local stories, both in my film school and otherwise. And it was Disney, it was Hollywood who came to me, you know, in my garden in Kampala with the story of Phiona Mutesi from a little journal in a sports newspaper. And Disney allowed me to make this without sugarcoating, without varnish, without any sanitizing or Disneyfication. And that's what's remarkable. But at its heart, the values are what Disney upholds, which is that you really can dream and achieve your potential. That, in a sense, a Cinderella, but a Cinderella of the streets, you know, a Cinderella of the mud, that is a lotus. You just have to see it.
Sometimes the place you are used to is not the place you belong. You belong where you believe you belong. Where is that for you?
What was the most fulfilling and enjoyable thing about actually being part of the film?
First of all, it's my relationship with the children I worked with. You know, real friendship blossomed working on this film. And Madina Nalwanga, who plays Phiona, she has a very similar story. I mean, what Chess did for Phiona, this film is doing for Madina. And to watch a non-actor learn so much on the job and really carry this film is remarkable, and it was definitely extremely inspiring.
Lastly, what do you want people to walk away from when they watch this film?
Well, I'd like them to walk away with the idea that a small one can become the big one. The idea that you should find something you're passionate about and do it with all your heart, because chess could have been a very frivolous thing that Phiona was getting involved with, but it's the thing that pulled her family out of poverty. It's the thing that now has provided me with a job. Things that Phiona herself could not have known when her mind and her heart awoke to chess. So I think living a life full of passion is actually very useful to the world.
Queen of Katwe is winning hearts. It may well win an Oscar, and it opens in cinemas across South Africa on October 14th.